Hey guys, and welcome to my review for Game of Thrones Season 7 Episode 4, titled The Spoils of War. This was an amazing episode. They're really pushing things forward this season at a rapid pace, which I really like. It seems like nearly every episode this season is better than the last one, and this episode in particular has, I think, one of the best battle scenes in the show's history. But moving on to my top 5 moments of the night, I'm starting with the mention of the Golden Company during Cersei's discussion with Tycho Nestoris of the Iron Bank. As a big fan of House Blackfyre and the Blackfyre rebellions from the books, I really loved hearing that the Golden Company may play a larger role in the war moving forward. From what we know about them in the show, they are a strong mercenary company of 10,000 soldiers who are known to never break a contract. But from the books we actually know a lot more, and that the company was founded by the Westerosi exile Aegor Rivers, known as Bittersteel, one of the great bastards of King Aegon IV, who joined his half-brother Daemon Blackfyre in a rebellion against the Targaryen crown. After their defeat, Bittersteel led the survivors to Essos, where he eventually founded the Golden Company, and the group then went on to support the Blackfyres in several more rebellions. Before dying though, Bittersteel ordered that the struggle continue after his death, asking that his skull be dipped into gold and carried like a standard before them when they finally cross the Narrow Sea and conquer Westeros. In the books, some of the famous words associated with them are, "Our word is good as gold," and "Beneath the gold, the bitter steel." At number 4, there's the fight between Arya and Brienne of Tarth, where everyone learns of Arya's skill with a blade as she fights in the Braavosi style, with her thin sword and quick movements. Brienne was clearly impressed by her skill, and the two seem to share a bond. Although we've seen Arya fight and kill before, seeing her go up against one of the best fighters in Westeros really makes it clear just how deadly she's become. Unfortunately, Sansa didn't seem to enjoy their interaction much, and she seemed disturbed that Brienne now has to obey both the Stark daughters. At number 3, I chose the meeting between King Jon Snow and Queen Daenerys Targaryen in the Dragonglass mine on Dragonstone. It was awesome seeing the simple cave drawings supposedly made by the Children of the Forest during the Long Night thousands of years earlier, displaying a number of strange symbols, as well as the alliance between the children and First Men when they joined together to fight the army of the dead. Although I disliked Daenerys' speech, which seemed to threaten that she would allow the White Walkers to destroy humanity unless Jon Snow bent the knee, I liked the scene overall, and I actually agreed with Dany at the end, because I've never really believed in Tyrion's plan for the war, and I tend to agree more with Dany that she should be more aggressive in her campaign, though perhaps not to the extent she originally planned. At number 2, I'm extending the definition of moment quite a bit by saying the entire final battle sequence. A second field of fire. Daenerys mounted Drogon and rained fire upon the Lannister and Tarly army before her Dothraki horde charged in to slaughter the enemy. This clearly is meant to remind us of the first field of fire, where Aegon the Conqueror unleashed his dragons upon the armies of House Lannister of the Westerlands and House Gardener of the Reach, ending in the burning of 4,000 men before the surrender of the enemy armies. The way these sequences were shot and the visceral feel of the battle was pretty much as good as anything we've seen, and the dragons looked very realistic. The scene with Bronn being chased through the chaos of the battle was especially noteworthy, and it ended perfectly, although I do wonder why they haven't built more of those scorpions. I suppose it's specially constructed and difficult to make, but they should be producing as many of those as possible. And since Cersei now has the gold to pay her debts, because it was brought into the city before the battle, she should use some of the money she gets in her new loans to make dozens of those weapons, giving them to all the field armies, and should place them throughout King's Landing. She should also start training soldiers, whose only job it should be to practice on those machines and to take down dragons. I also found it interesting Daenerys burned the supply train, in a sense saying that if she can't have the supplies of the Reach, no one could. And if they still plan to lay siege to King's Landing, this does make sense, though it's the small folk who will primarily suffer because of this action. But again, I tend to agree with Daenerys on this issue more than, say, Tyrion. If Dany is really going to wage this war, I think attacking the army and supplies was a reasonable compromise to her desire to burn the Red Keep. Her strength, in my opinion, is not in her name or her army, it's her dragons. People need to learn to fear her dragons, and this, I suspect, will go a long way to making people understand what she can do. And finally, at the number 1 spot, I chose the final charge of Jaime Lannister against Daenerys and Drogon. Similar to another courageous fool, Jon Snow, who did something similar during the Battle of the Bastards, Jaime charged in on his horse alone, determined to take out the queen. Although nearly burned alive, someone I suspect was Bronn dove in at the last second and saved his life, knocking him into nearby waters. At first I thought it might be Dickon who rescued Jaime, But after seeing the episode again, I noticed the man who saved him rode a white horse, similar to the one Bronn saw after the destruction of the scorpion weapon. The best kill of the night this time is a tie between the Dothraki shot with the scorpion by Bronn, pinning him to a wagon, and the Lannister soldier who dutifully held the line and knelt to eliminate an enemy, only for Drogon to appear above and burn him and his fellow soldiers to ash. Now, even with the big battle and everything that happened in this episode, to me, the best line of the night was from Mira Reed, when she goes to Bran and tells him she's leaving, and becomes upset when she sees how little he cares. As they talk, she reminds him of those who sacrificed themselves to see him safe, but still he doesn't show any interest. As he speaks, she responds, "That's all you've got to say. Thank you. My brother died for you. Hodor and Summer died for you. I almost died for you. Bran, you died in that cave." With all the great stuff this episode had, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. So now what did you guys think of the episode? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and leave your rating as well. And like always, be sure to check out the episode recap that's already up, and I'll see you next time. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Kagor the Reborn Snow of the Forsaken Archers, Ahmed the Black Dragon, and Oliver Otterborn. If you'd like to help the channel with a monthly donation, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see more.